This is John Walton, and you're listening to the Power Play Point podcast with the Blue Liner on point and Anna Knox. Here's Wilson, and on the right circle, he scores!
Rebound loose, wild scramble in front, score! Ovechkin with a buzzer beater! It'll count!
And the hat trick tonight, number 21,
Spectacular! Braden Holtby!
Hello, welcome everybody, Caps fans, one and all, to the Power Play Point podcast. This is your host, the Blue Liner on Point, talking at you live to tape from our very frozen, very windy, humble diggings here in Glen Burnie, Maryland. And I have not two, not one I was planning on saying, but two co-hosts with me today. And we're going to round out the season before the big break that is already upon us. First co-host, of course, is the ever popular, still with us, like I promised you, from a quick break, Anna Knox. How are things in Centerville?
They are like a tundra. It is cold. But you know what? I'm inside. It's warm. I'm making some kick-ass white chili chicken, creamy, spicy stuff.
Yummy,
Yeah,
yum.
my God. And then one of these ladies that has been subbing at my school makes these homemade sourdough loaves. And she was like, oh, yeah, I started it during COVID. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember when everyone jumped on that bandwagon, but I didn't. And then she was like, yeah, she came in. She's like, oh, here, I got this for you. Thanks for helping me out. I was like, oh, my God, this is amazing. And it's still warm. And then she has since given me two more and is telling me that she's going to give me this starter kit. And she's like telling me, she's like, so you just have to feed it and beat it. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I didn't do this during COVID, because I can't remember stuff like this. And it just sounds weird that I have to feed it. You know, it's just like this whole,
Right.
she's just very passionate, but she's just very like, oh, I just made this morning. I'm like, of course you did. Because I didn't. I made toast, you know, kind of thing. It was like, oh, okay. But
You're like, can you just keep giving me the bread and not make me
yeah,
feed it myself?
I was like, and how this whole starter thing, like I was like, how long do I have to do this for? Like 7 days? The hell am I putting in my refrigerator? I mean, I know what it is, but it's just like when she's all passionate about it, I'm like, and of course, in my way, I'm like, this is so manipulative, but I'm like, you are so good at it. I don't know if I could make the bread as good as you. Hint, hint.
This is the stuff. This is the stuff we get up to when we cannot go outside because it's so freaking cold.
That's it. That's it. So
you on the other side of the speakers, the earbuds, what have you. If you're wondering what the hell we're talking, why the hell? Yeah, that's why. Because it's
that's why.
Yeah, single freaking digit degrees out here.
Yeah.
And I've got not one but two left coast ladies with me. So that other voice you should have heard by now is Miss Jin-dependent alongside the mermaid, Jini Clausen, from roughly the same area in Nova. How are you this afternoon?
I am happy now that I'm inside.
As are we all.
Yes. Just a trip to the grocery store this morning was enough to freeze my bones, and my little Chihuahua's not happy about it either. So he's used to walking a lot, and he's a little stir crazy from the last 2 weeks, but he also doesn't want to be outside. So it's kind of a lose-lose scenario right now.
We've got a smattering of Canadian listeners, I think, and they're probably all laughing at us right now.
Yeah, this is nothing.
Single digits.
It's so different when you're used to when you're when you're prepared and when your city knows how to deal with it. But we also, I wouldn't mind if it was just snow. This is snowcrete. This
Yeah.
is just vicious, like 6+ inches of pure ice.
Yeah,
It's awful.
it is. It
Yeah,
is.
been like shoveling cinder blocks
Yeah.
one at a time to get rid of it. We got our development finally had a plow come through. No, not even a plow. They had to use a bobcat to
Yeah.
pick through what was basically an impromptu ice rink that our parking lot had turned into, and fix that. So finally we got that the other day. So yeah, we've had for a hockey podcast, yeah, maybe a little bit too much ice on the brain. Yeah, I get it. And spoiler alert, or not spoiler alert, a full disclosure, more like I have. Speaking of which, I have. Yes, I can't get away from hockey. I have the 2026 Winter Olympics on in the background. Currently, the women's hockey tournament game on Canada versus the Swiss women's team, and they just finished up the first period. Believe it's nothing.
It's 0-0. Yeah. I have it on in the background as well.
Canada dominating in shots, but Swiss putting up a nice defensive wall. So we'll see how long that lasts as we go. But yeah, a little tiny bit of discussion as we go. But Robbie Gross over at Sports on the Hill has called upon us, and when I say us, the main Caps Talk team, that being myself, and Anna, of course, and C4, and some amalgamation of that. Maybe Janaea Bennett from Janaea Talks Caps to provide a little international flavor. So that's expect that in the coming weeks. And we're going to get into the recap of the final 3 games before the break. But before we do, I wanted to say a little something about, something that was pretty big news, and not in a good way, here in the good old DMV. And that, of course, is the state of Maryland, District of Columbia, and the Commonwealth of Virginia, and surrounding areas. Just go out and say it. Beloved institution pretty much imploded. The Washington Post decided to get rid of, among other sections, the sports section. So how does that affect us? Well, one Bailey Johnson, who's been kicking ass covering our Washington Capitals, does not have a job anymore. Will not be hearing from her on Twitter. Will not be getting her insights, line matchups, reports, things like that. So we're -1 there. I'm not going to get into the wherefores and why. I think we all know. I'd like to think we're all, not stupid and understanding of how businesses go and things like that. And once upon a time, I was in the newspaper business, and even then, this was about several years ago. I used to be a carrier, and even back then, the writing was on the wall, and didn't. The business was kind of on its last legs then, so you're kind of surprised it took this long for it to happen. But it doesn't mean that it's not a thing. Sorry for the double negative, but it's a thing to happen to somebody of good quality. And it wasn't just her. They shut down a lot of different departments. I think it was like 600 people plus that ended up losing their jobs. But we're going to keep the focus on Bailey, and our thoughts are with her, because she was, again, kick ass in her job, and we're really going to miss it. And I just feel really bad for her. And Coach Carberry even took some time out of his most recent pregame press job to acknowledge her. And so when somebody you regularly spar with, back and forth, because that's part of their job, to needle the members of the organization. Hey, why did this happen? Why did this happen? What was the result of this play? What were you thinking here? That's a sign of respect. So it's sad. It's crappy, and I think all three of us, we all want to. We all feel bad. We all want to extend our condolences, and it's I doubt she's listening, but I would love, absolutely to have Bailey on at least once. This is I don't know how she feels about it, but I would absolutely love to have her on to give her take on things and kind of have her say. It would be nice to have her on this little podcast of ours. So I do extend that invitation. So if anybody out there knows somebody who knows somebody ad infinitum that knows her, then please do let her know. But I just wanted to take a few minutes and throw that out there because, it's hockey, I think, is underserved as it is. And then you have something like this happen, and it's let alone the wider the wider picture, the wider world of that's not going to be covered anymore with any quality. But I just felt like I had to say a few words about it. So if you're wondering, if you're not from around here, and you're wondering why the heck I'm talking about it, the Washington Post, it was still kind of a big deal around here. And basically it's not going to be anymore. So I just find that a little more than a little sad, actually.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Agreed.
but yeah, I just kind of want to put a post-mortem on that. Again, just could not let that go without saying a little something. Everybody out there might have their own opinion, but that's mine. And I'm sorry, it sucks, and that's where we're at. But that's the way of the world, I guess. Okay, well, so let's go into then. Before we get to the games, I posted the Olympic schedules for the ice hockey tournaments, the men's and the women's. And again, I'm actually watching the women's right now. Oh, I'm not watching it; it's on in the background. I would love for everybody to kind of keep an eye on it, but as I mentioned, Sports on the Hill, we're going to be covering that somewhat. But I'm not keen on the men's tournament. I think this is, to me, and I'm not just saying this because I happen to have two ladies on right now, but to me, I think the women's tournament merits a little more of the brighter spotlight because, they don't always get it. PWHL is up and running, and they're in the middle of their break. You don't hear them belly aching about it. But yeah, I think the women's tournament deserves a little bit of a brighter light, and the Olympics gives them that chance. A lot of quality teams coming out here, so I think it's going to be a pretty good. I don't know if she's listening, but I'm kind of tempted to throw a bet at Janaea because as to who does better, the U.S. or Canada, as far as the women's tournament. So
Well, shout out to U.S. who won 5-0 this morning, or whenever it was.
And Canada honestly looks a little bit rusty, but I think they'll let loose all of their horses in the second period here. But yeah, U.S. looks like they're firing on all cylinders. So it should be a great tournament. I highly recommend that you watch that. Okay, so yes, we're finally going to get into what the Caps actually did for their final three games. So first game was this past Monday, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we had something of a simulcast on, or at least of the last period on Sports on the Hill this past Monday. And so let's go over the scoring summary. So Matthew Barzal, no helpers, his 15th, 1638, opens the scoring. He's still deadly as ever. Can't leave him alone, which they kind of sort of did. So he buries the wrister, and we're kind of thinking, or I was kind of thinking, okay, well, whatever momentum they got from these past games, it's starting to fade. Well, maybe not. And then along comes the second period, and I don't know what happened. Maybe they got yelled at. Maybe they just decided enough was enough. But I think, so, well, something had to happen because the Caps actually woke up and came alive.
Mhm.
Martin Farivari, his fourth. Tom Wilson and Nick Dowd, who continues his hot run, his mini hot run these last couple weeks. The
Thank you.
helpers at
He heard us. He heard us
5:29.
all get mad at him, and he decided to pick it up.
He heard us all, every one of us, start to get pissed at him and even threatened to trade him. Mea
Not me.
culpa. Yes, not you. I'm saying me. Anna was probably the only one who wasn't wanting to get rid of the guy, but yes, me basically. So yes, this is me verbally eating my words here. But yeah, Dowd is on his a great run here, and this, I believe, was the first one. No, this was the first goal Farivari scored after his daughter was born.
Yes.
And what's his daughter's name?
Yes. Here in the U.S., Anna.
Here on this soil, Anna.
Yes.
Over
Elsewhere, Anna.
jumped the pond, and on European soil, Anna, but
Yes.
spelled the same.
Mhm.
So we're not going to take credit for that, but we'll still take credit for that. But great goal by Farivari, right place, right time. And as much as I think he is Orlov 2.0, I really, really wish he would shoot more. And this is another example of that. And
I don't know if I put him up with Orlov. Or
really?
put him against. Yeah, I don't. I don't know. No, I wouldn't.
You think Orlov had a better shot?
I think. Well, no. I don't know if I necessarily think he had a better shot. I just think Farivari has more pros in the column versus Orlov. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I get that. I get
I
that.
don't
And
know if
I
that,
just,
but if you're just talking shooting, I agree. And maybe that's just gonna come, he's still kind of started off rough with the injuries, and then he's got a new baby, and now he's kind of riding the high. So it's like maybe this Olympics, everything else, we're gonna see him be consistent, and that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
But I
I
don't
feel
know.
like he flies under the radar a lot. I don't feel like
Mhm.
it's always obvious when he has an off game, but I don't think that happens nearly as often as it does with other defensemen that we've got.
Mhm.
But I think he is like a quiet stanchion of awesomeness. And
Yeah.
so I love it when he gets those like when he takes a shot and you're like, yes, you're amazing. Because, I think that as we saw in playoffs last year, it makes a huge difference when he's not there.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just hold him to a higher level of respect than I did for Dimitri.
I think Ginny nailed it. He's Orlov would grab the headlines or the
Yeah.
love and the
He's a little
Instagram pics.
flashier. Yeah.
He was a lot flashier with his shot and his hits. Faravari's a lot quieter. He does all of the little things that don't always make the score sheet. Once in a while, he'll come up with a pretty big hit, but where he excels is he's all over the ice making that little play that stuffs what could have turned into an odd man rush or a long cycle or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to compare them both.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think ultimately Marty has a few more checks in the box long term which is why he's still here and Orlov's not.
True.
So, but anyway, he gets the game tire with Tom Wilson and Dowd helping him out. It's 5:29, as I said. And okay, like I said, they were woken up, thank goodness. And not even 31 seconds later, Anthony Beauvillier, who's also been a little quiet, comes up with the go-ahead, and spoiler alert, this would be the game winner. Nice wraparound. Roy sets up the play, and Ovechkin starts it 6 minutes exactly. Manages to get the wraparound into the net, and 2-1 Caps at 6. And so it's nice for them to get, because they're usually on the other end when they're getting the back-to-back hitting them. So nice quick bang bang goal here to give them the lead, and they never looked back. And that would be all the scoring in the second period. And third period comes along. Oh, look, the guy that I wanted stoned, beheaded, stake in the heart. I'm kidding. Nick Dowd, using his stick for something else other than getting penalties on. I'm kidding again. Sort of. His fourth of the year at 8:46. Rasmus Sandin, great start to this play, and Frank the helpers. I'm going to see if the app will be willing to. Oh Jesus God! Not another Brad Marchand fashion commercial. Come on, get this crap off my phone. Oh my God! Who thought this guy?
No one.
Harry Ellis. Good Lord. Okay, so here it is. Finally. Okay, so Raz gets it into the zone. He circles the net. And then actually he taps it at the great tap pass. That's what he does. So Ovechkin was the one who circled the net. Sandin corralled it and then found Dowd at the right circle, who flipped it. And then it actually hit this was the one that hit the Islander defenseman. Tony D'Angelo, nice delivery, Mr. Pizza Man. So Dowd launches it. What looks like a cross ice pass or a little flip pass to Ovechkin was the attempt. It hits D'Angelo in the leg and then goes in the net for the 3-1 lead at 8:46. And you knew everything was turning around then. And then John Carlson would ice it with his 10th with a 197-foot shot into the empty netter.
That was beautiful.
That was sick.
That was
Yikes.
We on the Caps are so spoiled with both Carlson and Ovi, who can pot these empty netters from anywhere, surrounded by people, and just like, boom, center net. It was beautiful.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah, this sucker went right down the middle, if I recall right.
Yeah.
Protus gets the credit with the assist, but yeah, this was all Carlson, who somehow hit the bullseye from behind his own net.
It's so freaking impressive.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I was so happy I was at that game. And was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that was the final goal, 17:35. Because Coach Patrick Waugh likes to pull his goalies early. Thank goodness. But yeah, this was the nail in the coffin. Impressive in that they came back and scored 4 straight goals from being down 1. Shot totals, not so much, but then again, maybe they didn't need any. The progression was impressive, 6-8-11 over the 3 periods for a total of 25. So, yeah, they ramped it up when they needed to, but could have benefited from another start, but we'll take it.
And great job to Mudd with a 967 save percentage.
Yes, can't ignore that. Thanks for reminding me, Ginny. So yes, Clay Stevenson faced 30 shots, got all but one of them for 29 out of 30, 96.7%, as Ginny just said, for his first NHL win.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talk about coming up big when you have to.
Yeah.
When we're reduced to our number 3 goalie.
Right.
Yeah.
No, this was good to watch. He looked solid. He didn't look nervous, which is nice. I feel like Hunter did Shepherd.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, I said that, and then I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. He made me nervous.
Yeah.
Because he looked nervous. He kind of always like a little deer in the headlights at times. Although you're phenomenal, I'm not gonna take his skill away, but it was there's something about Clay that definitely was just okay. This kid's got it.
Yeah.
No,
He had good energy back there. And I don't know if you guys watched the locker room vids after the wins, but he was so cute. He did like the Hershey bear roar thing, and like Obi was doing like the whole team, and then Strome's doing it like that, and then doing like an eagle version. It was super cute. So I love that. Like, I love our locker room and how clearly they've like, you know,
They're very close.
they made him feel good. They made him feel comfortable. He's still like doing his thing. I thought it was super cute.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm not going to cast aspersions here, but if they could decide that, they could package him in a trade, and if they do, I think, I think the plan going forward is maybe Stevenson eventually inherits the backup job. If there is a team out there come the deadline or maybe the offseason or sometime next season that needs a quality backup, and there's probably quite a few, they might come asking about Charlie Lindgren and make him available. This is just off the top of my head. So you folks out there, you know who you are, who love, spur of the moment trades or any big trades. Don't get any ideas. It's not me.
That hurts my heart to think about.
I know,
Yeah,
but
this is why I could never be a GM or whatever, because I'm like, but I love Charlie. He can't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm too emotionally attached.
you got, when you want something, you got to give to get. And
I know.
if there is, if that's the price, then unfortunately you got to pay. And I'm not saying it's happening anytime soon, but it's always a possibility. So,
I'm having flashbacks of Braden Holtby.
Yeah, well, that, if it comes to that, I'm saying then it's great that, Stevenson looks like he could probably slide into that backup role without too much of a problem. Now I think he's finally, his first game against Pittsburgh didn't look all that great after a decent start, and then, gutted out the win against Carolina. I said this was his the game against Carolina, gutted that one out after falling behind 3-0. So this one was his actually his second regulation win. His first regulation win, his first second win overall. But yeah, it was great to see him. So that's I feel a lot better about our goaltending overall. With that. That said, that's going to be a need that's filled, and we do have a couple guys in the pipeline that may prove out to be winners later on, but they're at least 2-3 years away. But when the time comes, we'll talk about those guys. Great win for this one. So a great start to the week. They keep it rolling, and so on to Philly for the next game. And I don't want to say this was a scheduled loss, but it's another back-to-back, and this wasn't a really bad game they played, but you could tell they weren't 100%. Maybe the bumps and the bruises got to them. Let's quickly go over the scoring summary. Owen Tippett, who always seems to burn them, his 19th. Sanheim and Matvey Michkov, the helpers at that one, 5:56 in the first. Carl Grunstrom puts them behind even more. Delorier and Ristolainen, Rasmus Ristolainen, the helpers on that one, 2-0 Flyers. And then the Caps get a shorthanded goal from Alexei Protas, and this usually lights the fires and starts the comeback wagon. Beauvillier, the helper on this one at 8:12, so you thought maybe they were coming back, especially when Beauvillier tied it in the third at 2:40. But yeah, I think then they started running out of gas. Sordoff and Van Riemsdyk, the helpers, and on Beauvillier's goal, and then the Caps started giving up power plays, and yeah, that was the beginning of the end. Drysdale, you knew they were going to go ahead as soon as they got that power play. Zegras and Konechny, the helpers, and Flyers never looked back, and then the empty netter by Ristolainen to seal it. Konechny helping out. Caps stifled the Flyers to 22 shots on goal, but they just gave up too many quality chances this game, I thought.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't a terrible game.
no,
It just wasn't. It wasn't 100%. You know, they were just meh.
Agreed.
yeah, they weren't. They did not quite have enough in the tank to finish this game, and I think ultimately that was the problem. 28 shots on goal. It should have been enough because their goaltending, Flyers goaltending, hasn't exactly been the best. It should have been enough. It wasn't. They only got one power play and they squandered the hell out of it. You know, what else is new? They were a little undisciplined. 16 penalty minutes to 2 for the Flyers. So that was a bit of a factor. I think they were just a little bit off. This wasn't like one of those horrible games where you could tell they had nothing.
Right.
And they were just out there. This is not that. This was just, so I wasn't too disappointed. I liked the effort overall. You figured at some point, especially this being a back-to-back, they would hit a wall, and they did. But it wasn't like the Flyers were running them off the rink. So I was still okay with things.
Agreed.
All right, so they get a day of rest, and then they come back to good old Cap 1. And so last Thursday, the 5th, they would face the Nashville Predators, and this was kind of a crazy ass game. So the Caps would jump out to a big lead, and then the Predators would battle back, and I don't know, all kinds of weird crap would happen in this game. But okay, so let's start with the scoring. Tom Wilson, another goal, leads the team 23rd. Nice to see him back on the score sheet, the top of the score sheet. Helped out by the returning Pierre-Luc Dubois, his first point of the season.
Yay, LD.
Seriously.
And Jacob Chikrin, the other helper, his 25th assist at 4:15. So nice start to the game. And then the Caps would get a power play later on, a few minutes later. And PP1 pretty much PP'd away the PP. Wow, did they not do anything? And then Unit 2 came on, and they proved they were better than number 2 in more ways than one. Basically, Pierre-Luc Dubois saved the power play here by looping a shot over Justus Annanen's shoulder at the last second. Beautiful shot. His first goal to match his first point at 12:48 of the period. Dylan Strome and John Carlson, the helpers on that one. Caps would take a 2-0 lead in the period. Jacob Chikrin, 8:42 in the second, would get his 20th to match last year.
God damn, he's on fire.
Yes, he
Oh my
is.
goodness.
and amazingly not on Team Canada's roster, but
Yeah.
hey, not our call, fortunately or unfortunately. 8:42 the second. That would turn out to be the game winner because, as I mentioned, the Predators would come back and make their comeback. Close your ears, Anna. Jonathan Marchessault, his 10th. Know how you love that guy. Holla
hate him
and
so much.
Wilsby. Yeah.
Does he not have like the biggest? I mean, aside from there, Marshawn and Ryan Reeves, but he has such a smug, punch-worthy face. I just can't stand him. And he's little, and he's like, got like little man complex. It's just such an asshole. But yes, he scored. Whatever.
Yeah, if he were a beer, he'd be Brad Marchand light.
hmm
So yeah,
He wouldn't even be worthy of a beer. He would be like a Zima. Let's just be
there's a
honest.
blast from the past.
Right. Or like a really warm Coors in the yellow can.
God,
Let's
yeah,
just that's just what I think of him.
bad.
Yep.
Too true. So that's how the second period would end. And then McCarron, his 5th, Smith and Wilsby, the helpers on that one, early in the third. So yeah, a lot of us were thinking, oh no, Caps are blowing a lead here, and yeah, up until then, because Marchessault was a late period goal. They were stifling the Preds pretty well. So much so that, according to Mrs. Blue Liner, I was nodding off pretty badly in the middle of the second. And then this goal happens, and she nudges me and says, hey, you might want to pay attention here. And then, so it was, pretty edge of your seat type of stuff from there. And then Caps would get a power play. Jacob Chikrin would get his 21st. For his second of the night. Strome and Ovechkin, the helpers on that one. This would seal it. 13-11 would be the goal. And then somewhere in the midst of that, Nick Dowd would put one in that was called back. And I was kind of surprised Spencer didn't challenge it, but he figured, okay, why waste the energy? But yeah, he didn't challenge it. I can't remember when it happened. I think it was late in I want to say it was late in the second or early in the third. But yeah, it was yet another one of those borderline calls. And if this was earlier in the season, I think Spencer would have challenged it. He decided to let this one go. And Caps managed to hang on. They got 30 shots on goal. Converted on the power play, not once but twice. I gotta say, the 4 times they didn't convert on the power play, they looked like hot, flaming garbage.
Yeah.
And this is the part that gives me the stabbing barf pains. This part when they do that. The part when so they take it into the zone. They walk 5 feet past the line, and then it's Chikrin or Carlson or Strome, one of those 3 usually. And they just sit there and they hold it. And then they'll pass it to the other guy on the far wall. And then they'll just play catch for about 10 seconds with it. And then somebody on the other team will figure out, oh, okay, if I just run up and poke my stick, it'll clear the zone. They have to go all the way back and start all over again. And every time they do that, it pisses me off. And yeah, I just,
Too predictable.
Too predictable. Way too
Yeah.
predictable.
Yeah.
And yeah, they might have gotten 2 out of 6, but still, it could have been 3, 4 if they hadn't, frittered the time away.
Mhm.
I don't know. So quick little yes, I know how you folks out there love my end of episode jokes, but quick one here before we move on to the next part. How can you all? Well, you can always tell that the Nashville Predators goalies are done. And why is that? Because they're all
Right.
Finnish.
Okay.
You ever notice that?
No.
Yeah, they're all every one of them. They're Finnish.
Okay.
They love their Finnish. So for the longest time it was Pekka Rinne. Now it's UC Saros who's the number one, and Justus Annunen was the backup, and he played this game. Well, it's a shame they didn't get more goals. They could have chased him out, and then you could have said, "Well, where's the Justus?" Sorry,
How long have
that's
you
twofer. That's
Yeah.
twofer.
been sitting on this for a couple days, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Good job.
If you
Mm,
like those, you'll like the one I have planned at the end anyway.
Can't wait.
You can tell Anna is just ripe with anticipation.
I'm on the edge of my seat. On the edge of my seat, Mr. Gill.
I'm sure you are. Our sponsorship partner this year, which is Empowering Education. And if you've been listening all this year, of course, you know or should know by now, but we'll go over the history again. They began as a Kentucky-based nonprofit, bringing financial literacy and career development to the next generation. That is the goal. It was founded in 2021 by Audie Wood in a small Western office in Western Kentucky University, and was offered initially as an alternative to delinquent juveniles, as an alternative to jail time. And they found that 91% of the students that took this course did so well that they managed to avoid incarceration. So, as we've said, it is a great alternative for students to not be a drag on the system, but work with the system. These are students, again, that were turned towards trades opportunities or continuing education because they learned how to work with the system in asking for financial aid, budgeting, and including the mental health aspects of financial literacy and management. So if you're interested, contact myself or Audie Wood. And I'll go ahead and put my personal email out there if you want more information. It's glhallowed@yahoo.com, or visit empowering-education.org on the web to find out more about them. And you can also enroll your high school age student in our upcoming 8-week course that is operating out of Baltimore City and the rest of the DMV eventually. So if you're interested in that, take a gander at our website. Once again, that's empowering-education.org. And as we say, empower your child, empower their future.
Mhm.
Okay, so when Miss Jin-dependent was last with us, I gave her a homework assignment to, even though Anna's the teacher, I gave her a homework assignment to have completed for the next time she is back.
Wow.
So we're going to reveal the contents of that now. I think now would be a good time to go over that since we're on a break here, and Caps are facing a point in the season where they're going to need every point left in the season to
Desperately.
contend for the playoffs. More on that later. But okay, so Ginny, floor is yours. Tell us what it was you were tasked with, and what all did you come up with?
Okay, so we are looking at goals scored. Actually, I did this for goals against as well. And the type of goal, so like slap, snap, wrist, all of that stuff. Just kind of looking at what the majority of our goals are. So 45% or 86 of our goals have been, do you want to guess? Or should I just tell you?
I want to say snapshots.
Correct. And that's also the highest against at 41%. So slightly slower, slightly smaller, but still up there. The second highest is wrist shots with 43 of them, or just under 23%, which is also the second highest in goals against as well. So definitely snap and wrist are like by far the top two, because that's like, almost 70% of the total. And then next up, we've got tip-ins and backhands tied at 18 each, which is 10%. And it's interesting. It's the same. Well, they're not tied with goals against, but it's tip-ins and backhands are the next highest scored against us as well. So it's interesting how aligned they are. Something that's also randomly interesting, up until 5 games ago, we had no wraparounds, and then we've had 2 in the last 2 weeks. So that's just kind of like a random interesting thing. No wraparounds have been scored against us.
Well, so now that you mention that, I've noticed there's been this new drive, new mandate, something, whatever you want to call it, something that has woken up in this team that, the light bulb has finally gone on. Oh, if we go to the net,
Yeah.
we'll score more goals.
Yep.
Instead of trying to sit there and now, if I'd have been thinking, then and I'm sure maybe NHL Edge or some stat carrier has this, but all of those snapshots that went in, there's got to be something that has an average distance. So I'm wondering if there is that. I'm not going to ask you to dig that up. You can on your own if you want. But I'm wondering if a lot of those snapshot goals that went in that aren't now were from a fair distance. But it's interesting that the snapshots were also the highest in goals against. That means that, to me, that means the defense isn't reacting quick enough.
And or you think of all the times we've screened our own goalie and they just don't even see it fly by.
Now I'm hoping now that PLD is back, they won't have a chance. Offenses we're playing against won't have that chance to set up that. There'll be a lot less of that.
Yeah, it's when we were talking about Faravari earlier, I feel like PLD is kind of like offensively how Faravari is defensively. Like, you don't always notice him until he's not there. And I remember, last season people were like, "Oh, PLD, what a waste. He's not doing anything." You're like, "No, he's setting up everything. Just because he doesn't have the points doesn't mean he's not doing it." And I feel like you saw it in the Predators game. He makes a difference when he's on the ice, and he's able to set things up in a way that other people just haven't been doing.
Too true. Too true. And I don't know, from these numbers, it's so much has been made of the Caps offense drying up. But I think the defense has had its part in letting them down too. It's just, it's just exactly what Anna and I have said to death for how many years now?
At least 10.
At least. Play a 60-minute game. There's a good chance you're not going to lose. And that applies at both ends.
It definitely does.
So I think, like many stats, this may not tell the whole story, but it's a pretty important chapter here.
Yeah.
Not only how they're scoring, but how the other team is scoring.
Yeah. Well, I found it very, very interesting that basically down the list, if we're talking percentages, the goals for and the goals against, it's all pretty much in that same order. Snap, wrist, slap, back, like it's all very, very synchronous. And it's kind of one of those, you're like, okay, so do we try and set up more of those? Do we try and be a little more creative? Do we sneak a random wraparound? Do we do the unexpected things like when Chicky randomly tried the miss again? Like things that people don't expect. Like even Carb said, he was like, I've never seen him try that in practice. I have no idea where it came from. Things like that to just like, I don't know. It's just it's interesting just looking at the synchronicity of it, and I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, I think it all kind of goes back to what Gil and I mean, we've said this before for probably the last 10 years, but also that predictability.
Yes.
It's like we all know where Ovi's going to shoot from, and it's like, that's fine. And we all knew that Kuzi was wraparound, pro. But it's like when you mix it up and you don't expect it, that's when you keep the other team on their toes, and that's what we need to do more of. And maybe just with having, some guys, like when we don't have the Backstrom and the Oshis in the lineup, and we have other players that are coming up, filling those positions, whether they're, rookies or vets. It's like, mix it up, because
Yeah.
you have to. It's like, like really like in any team sport, it's like when it becomes predictable, it's like, okay, if the fans know it's predictable, pretty sure the opponents know it's predictable as well. Like they
Right.
are studying you. So mix it up, dude. Do
Right.
something,
And that's
you
where
know.
just kind of looking at like the different players. So Bovey has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different. He's got backhand, he's got snap, tip in, wrap, and wrist.
Mhm.
Ovi, shockingly, primarily snap,
Yep.
then wrist, then a tip in, a couple slappers. So it's I mean, just kind of looking at like players, like like you said, obviously they're the ones that are like, where most of Ovi's shots are going to come
Mhm.
from. So it's kind of cool. Or Frank.
I was just gonna say he's the
Yeah.
one that I literally think he's kind of like the wild card,
Oh,
because I
absolutely.
feel
So he's got backhand, he's got deflected, he's got snap, tip in,
he's
wrist.
fast.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's all over the place. He's unpredictable, and
Yeah.
I love that.
I
Wilson
think,
has quite a few different ones as well. Most of
yeah.
his are snaps, but he's got one in almost every category.
Yeah. Yeah. I think our wild cards are Frank, sort of,
Yes.
and Duhame, but I feel more of a strength with Frank and sort of, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
like Duhame. I do. I like him a lot. I don't want him to go anywhere, but I do feel like when he has those little temper tantrums of,
Yeah.
he just can't get out of that. It's like, okay, Frank, what was it like the last time, Gil, you and I spoke about, he was pissed at himself. He missed that shot. He was on, throwing just all the F-bombs and everything on the bench. But then he went back and, got in the right headspace and scored.
And
I
that's
think
good.
Duhame,
That's good, because that means he's got more confidence in his game. If this was last year,
100% would not be him.
Agreed.
he would
Agreed.
have not only not had another chance, he probably would
Yeah.
have been benched for another half a period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think that the you get pissed and then you do something with that anger. Like then you go out and say like, no,
You have to
I
channel
am.
it.
Yeah, and I think Duhaime, he's just not there yet. But I'm
Yeah.
not giving up on him because I think he's great. But I just think he has these like kind of hothead moments, and I'm like, let's check that and focus on
And it
skill rather than like stupid reaction.
and it's not like Duhaime doesn't have a shot. He proved that in the playoffs
Yeah.
100%.
when he got that series winning goal.
Right. Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
So
saying. It's like, I do feel like those three could be wild cards and like mixing things up and not being so predictable. But Duhaime's the one that I'm like, he's the extra wild card of,
Agreed. And
you know,
when he's on, because he's had a couple of games where you're just like, I don't know what you did before this game, but you need to do it every game.
exactly.
'Cause when he is on, because he's speedy, he's gritty, he gets in there, he's just
Oh yeah, physical.
inconsistent, and I don't.
He's got it all.
Yeah, yeah, he's got it all, and when he's on, he's amazing, and I love him. And he's just got this amazing presence in the locker room, and everyone
Hmm.
loves him. And I think if he can find some consistency,
Yep,
it would be absolute fire.
100%.
sure, absolutely. Uh, this this worked out, and not that I didn't have any confidence in it, but this all tied together a million times better than I could have imagined. I love all of the insight you both just put out. Um, I just thought of something though. I want to toss it back to you, Anna, because you you're the one with the coaching experience. Now, I don't know how swim meets work,
Hmm.
so I have to ask something. Do you often have members of your team do more than one event?
Of course.
Okay, okay. So do you know what? So what do you do? Here's my question: what do you do if you know you've got it? It's coming down to your team needs some points, and it's coming down to the last few events, and you've got maybe one or two on, or at least on your team that are probably feeling it because they've done like 2, 3 races already. What do you
Hmm.
do to keep them fresh?
Mm. Well, I think this is where it's going to come down to how much they want it. How much do they, are they having, even if they are exhausted and you know, they're there for a reason. If they love their team and they're gonna give it 110%. Are they in that mindset? And I think, is this a PLD thing?
Well, this is a not so much a PLD thing. I think I am not worried about PLD. He
Okay.
looks like he's hungry to be out there
I
and
mean, he
prove.
said he was rusty, but I'm like, you can assist and a goal. I'll take it. If
Right?
that's you, rusty,
If that's rough, yes, please.
I'll take it.
I am not worried about PLD at all.
Hmm.
What I am worried about, so between what you both just said, I figured out that okay, they get that pretty goal. They might get that pretty goal in the beginning, and then they fall back, and then they play back. They sit back. They don't attack, and then they either do one of two things. They don't get another goal for the rest of the game because
Hmm.
they don't find that 10% that you just
Hmm.
mentioned, or they do they do attack more, and then they change their strategy. They don't go for that pretty goal. It's more of the go to the net goals, the wraparounds, the tip ins, the
Right.
dirty stuff in front of the net.
Honestly, it would have to be, you know, in an individual situation because there are
Yeah.
certain players that you are going to say to them, and I think just to bring up, players of the past, but Kuzi is the perfect example. When someone that you're expecting to come out on the ice and do amazing things is, fucking up and doesn't have their head in the game, you sit them. And that humbles them. And that is like, hey, listen, you could be out there playing or swimming or doing whatever else. But if I can't see that you're giving it your all, or you're distracted, or your head's not in the right place, I'm going to sit you down, because you're going to watch everyone else who's given what they need to give. So sometimes sitting players down or sitting players out is humbling. What they do with that is up to the player.
Very true. Very, very true. So the reason I bring that up is because I noticed that as Ginny was bringing up all of those shot types, and when they would happen, I noticed that pattern. I'm sure you did too, Ginny, that the close in goals would all happen later in the games and not so much the beginning.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot more, which is why I wanted to know what, from a coaching standpoint, would be
Mhm.
done. It takes a lot more. You got to find the energy somewhere to go to the net, take the punishment, and go for, it's not as high risk a play, but it's definitely high reward. But it's high risk in that, well, you're going to get hit.
Mhm.
You're going to take some punishment. So it's finding that guy who's willing to do it.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be the same guy every night.
No. But
Right.
that's also, as a coach, then you are making an example for the team, not just this one player. This is what's going to happen if you don't do A, B, C, and D. You're basically saying, like, he's got an example, setting an example um, right at this moment, during this period of this game against these players. What happens? Who's gonna show up or not show up, and you know uh, the next time, next period, the next game, or whatever. So I think that's, oftentimes I think it's, you're going to go into this break. The guys need it. They're with their families. They need to recharge, and then they come back, and this is when you would see, I would think, because you're in like the second half of, well, more than the second half of the season, but it's like, okay, now it's like, no joke.
Right.
It's time to show up, or someone else is going to show up for you.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's going to be interesting to see who does that more often, or, like I said,
Hmm.
doesn't have to be the same guy, but who ends up doing that
Right.
towards the ends of games. So this what I've been trying to do this
Yeah.
whole time. And I said this on an episode from, I want to say, 2-3 years ago, where I had a couple of different guys on from 2 different podcasts. Marry the analytic stats rather, marry those figures to the eye test.
Yes.
So what I want you, the listener, to do for the rest of the season, from, I want to say, after the first 5 minutes of the third period on, who's going to the net more? Who's setting themselves up to score from the net more, from maybe 5 feet in front of the net and beyond to the goal line, or even behind the net? Who's doing that? Who's going to that area more from the Caps? That's for everybody. So that's everybody's eye test. That's what I want to see.
But why the
If you
third
can see,
period?
because that's late in the game. Especially so especially if they're behind.
Right. But
So
I think the difference. Well, I don't know. I mean, I could be totally out of left field on this one. I felt like last season we counted and expected too much to be the second half team. We always started
hmm,
off slow and finished strong, and it was like, oh, they came back. Look at the comeback team. Look at us again. And it was like, we can't keep counting on that. This season, I think my frustration lies in the fact that why aren't we seeing that effort in the first period and not saving it just till the third? Because I feel like there's so many times that we look at shots on goal and we're like 4, 6,
Mm-hmm.
in the first period, and then it's like, oh, then they probably had their asses handed to them in the locker room, and it was like, okay, then they came back, and it's like I want to see all of what you said from puck drop, first period. Let's
So,
go.
you know what's actually crazy? If I'm looking at average shots on goal,
Mhm.
it's actually almost the same period 1, 2, and 3.
Really?
Yeah, the
Hmm.
average is 9.34, 9.69, and 9.36, which is shocking.
Which is all, yeah. That's
Um,
that below double digit frustration
yeah,
that like when we,
yeah,
Yeah.
is
no,
like,
it definitely
God.
should not be that low. Although shots against are very similar. They're all 9 point something spread across. So while we aren't taking tons of shots on goal, we're not allowing tons either.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
it's
Awesome.
at least
Okay.
very similar.
Right,
And
right.
in terms of like the goals scored, definitely the most in the third period.
Mhm.
It's 49 in P1, 63 in P2, and 72 in P3. So, and then our differential increases each period. So definitely best in P3, but it's not as different in terms of shots on goal as I would have thought, which is really interesting.
Okay. Well, another reason I want to focus on those last 15 minutes is because, well, everybody's going to start. Well, the smart teams are going to start. Some have already, but everybody's going to be starting their playoff run now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those who don't already have it locked up. So the games are going to get tighter, a lot tighter as a consequence. So more and more, those games are going to come down to those last 15 minutes because they're going to be so close.
Okay.
That's why I think it's more important, at least at this point in the season. So it's going to be who's got more in the tank and who's willing to give that extra bit
Right.
that
All right.
that
I get
makes
that.
that makes the difference. So
Okay.
that's another
Yeah.
reason for that focus.
Gotcha.
So okay, well, this blew my mind. This was all I didn't know what to expect, and I thought it was going to be good, but this blew me away. I probably could have just sat back and let the two of you go back and forth.
Well, we
And
both
I'm
have
sure
that
we
soft
could.
spot that we would, yeah, that we would never, let anybody go, and yeah,
Yep. So
find a
but
reason to
that's
keep everybody.
similar sentiments and approaches to things.
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
but two different, you know, two different dishes to bring to the table,
Yeah.
if I can put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope you, the listener, picked up on this because this is more than anything going to be the most important thing. It's we've made fun of how they start games, but just as important as that is going to be how they finish games. And if they
Hmm.
hope to make the playoffs this year, it's going to count for something.
Right.
So, all right. Okay. So, quick preview coming attractions before we wrap it up for the break. So, as we said, we're not going to be back until Wednesday, the 25th. And then it's two games back home at Cap One Arena, 7 o'clock puck drop, Wednesday, the 25th of February against the Flyers again. So, hopefully, they get 2 points back from that. And then Friday night, the 27th, the Golden Knights. First matchup against them, 7 o'clock puck drop there. And then a back-to-back that very next Saturday up to Montreal to the Bell Center, 7 o'clock puck drop to round out the night. The game then, the weekend then, the back-to-back. So our next show will be March the 1st.
Okay.
And getting dangerously close to mermaid birthday time at that point.
Ooh.
Well, that'll be that's actually Avery's birthday. So if I have something going on that day, I will give you plenty of notice if we're celebrating she's turning 15. I know, shocking that she has a mom that's so young and hip.
Sorry,
Good Lord.
I didn't.
Right.
I didn't mean to
You
laugh,
can,
but
you
the
can't.
first thing. Sorry, the first thing that came to mind was the very first picture I saw of her.
With Tom Wilson.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was the diddle thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's crazy, right? I think
Now
she
she's
was so Jenny, if you didn't know, like well, no, you would know. Hello. At the Fair Oaks Mall. Fair Lakes
Yeah.
Mall. Fair Oaks. I was like, I always get that confused. They used to have a store in there that sold sports memorabilia. Like it was like a collecting kind of store. It's totally random. Like I probably walked past it 1,000 times and never thought anything about it. And
Right.
then the owners decided, this is back in 2015, 2016, to start having autograph sessions with players, sometimes a local musician if somebody was available or whatever. So the very first time I heard about this, and you had to just, I don't even know if I had to pay for the autograph at the time. If I did, it was something like $5, and it was Tom Wilson and Brooks Lake, and they put them at the same table.
Right.
And we kind of like waited out in the mall and got in line, and it was like generic enough that it was like someone's like, hey, here's my phone, can you take our picture, kind of thing.
Right.
Well, the guy who owned the store was like, I was like, oh, this is great. I was like, my daughter's like 5 or something, and I said she'll, she likes Tom. I might have influenced her a little bit, kind of thing. And he's like, well, do you care if I take her picture and with him? And I was like, oh my God, of course not. Well, the next thing I know, he puts her on the table, standing up, as Tom and Brooks are sitting behind it. And she just puts her arms out like, hey, and they take the picture.
Oh my gosh.
And it is like adorable and whatever else. And because I mean, you're thinking, yeah, so this is like 2015, 2016. So this is like baby Tom.
Right.
And I was on Twitter at the time, and I was like, oh my God. And I put it out there, and I, tagged Brooks and Tom, and Tommy wrote back and was like, oh, what did he say? Hey, like something about the Titanic, it was like because of the way she was like sort of standing there. The coolest message. Like I knew I liked the guy from the get-go, but so that was just kind of my thing. And now now here she is at 15. I'm like, see how cool your mom was like 10 years ago? Because look at Tommy's in the
Right.
Olympics.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
That's
it
where
was
like
such.
you need to go to like, not that he does tons of signings these days, but that's where like you need to bring like a print of that with you and be like, look,
I did.
here's her now.
I did. Oh my
Oh,
God. See that? Sorry, girl tangent.
right.
So at the Dulles Expo, he
Okay.
was signing and doing pictures with
Yeah.
oh my God, it was it's the only, maybe it was just him. And I brought her with me, and I printed out that picture. And so when it was our turn at this time, she was this was right after the cup. So she was still young,
Right.
and he was like, oh no way, like I remember this. And it was, I mean, whether he
Oh
did
my
or
gosh.
didn't,
That's amazing.
uh my heart exploded.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would absolutely die.
Yeah, and I was like, and it was just, and then like the next couple months down the line, then Kuzi and Michael Lotta were the guys at the mall signing. So I did that, and that was great. But it was like it just completely different experience. So yeah, I was like, if we're gonna go and we're gonna see Tommy again, we're bringing this photo because this is one of the cutest, most coolest moments. And I promise, when you get older, you're gonna look back and be like, this was really cool.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome.
And yes, he is a heartthrob.
Still is.
Yes,
Yes,
he is.
I can confidently say that as a guy.
Good
Yes.
job, gal.
And that's still like the least amazing thing about him, which is what's so
Mhm.
wonderful. Like
Exactly.
all of this and he's beautiful? What?
Right. Seriously. He rescues puppies and
Yeah.
is beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
now he's a Canadian Olympian.
Yes,
Yes.
he is.
Let's go
God.
Canada.
And
I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry. I am 1000% Team Canada for
Yeah.
that. Between Wilson, LT, and Macklin Celebrini, I can't root against those three.
Seriously. And Celebrini, like, he's a
Sorry,
baby. And
bringing my Sharks love in too. Yeah.
yeah, right. But how
I
can you
can't help
not?
it, especially this season.
Yeah.
Like I
totally get
can't root
that.
against that trio. There's no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Nope.
well that's why I think the women's tournament is, or another reason why the women's tournament is going to be much more worth watching. I think Canada is going to run away with it on the men's
Yeah.
side, and
Yeah.
the U.S. team is just not, they're not built right. I'll just leave
No.
it at that. They're not built right for this tournament
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So
Well, by just randomly, Canadian women are up by 1 right now.
yeah, I was actually just about to say they started the third, and they peppered the Swiss goalie with 32 shots, but only one has gotten by. So this Swiss team is resilient
And
as
the Swiss
all
team
hell.
has only taken 3 shots on goal. That is
Right. It's really
wow.
lopsided, but they're pretty resilient. But hopefully the wall doesn't crack here soon. But yeah, it's
No kidding.
still must see
Dude,
as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, I mean, the Swiss goalie deserves to be a star considering that peppering, even if they lose, only having let 1 shot in and just being like hammered. That's
Yeah.
she's putting up an impressive showing. The poor Canadian goalie's got to be
Yeah,
just
impressively so.
oh
Definitely.
yeah.
And yeah, so watch. Look, I don't care what opinion you have. Watch your women's Olympic hockey, because it's worth it.
And oh my
It's
goodness,
definitely worth it.
can I just tell you how happy I would be if DC gets a PWHL expansion team after going to the PWHL game a
Oh,
couple
I
weeks
would
ago?
be
Oh,
I
that's
would be
right.
over the
Yeah, that
moon.
would be
It
freaking cool.
was an amazing experience. The arena was electric. It was so cool seeing I mean, of course there were like jerseys for the 2 women's teams, but like fans from I mean, I swear there had to have been jerseys from like half the NHL teams there.
So cool.
It
Love
was
that.
it was amazing.
Yeah, I
And
don't see how there's nobody. Even it's probably not going to be Ted, but I don't see how there's nobody who's not a local business person doesn't step up and create
yeah,
an expansion
Mhm.
franchise.
yeah,
Based on that, the attendance of that game alone,
yeah.
there's no way that market gets ignored. It
Yeah.
can't.
I know,
Um,
and I've been like I want to pick a women's team to like get behind and like go all in, but I'm like I can't do that until the end of this season. And if DC doesn't get a team, then I'll have to pick someone. But like I don't want to pick someone and then have to switch allegiances, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yeah.
get
for
that.
now I'm just like watching and enjoying it all, and I'm just desperately hoping that we get our team that I can like fully get behind.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens pretty soon.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty great. Okay, so I think we're going to stop here. Lots of good stuff for everybody to chew on before we get into this long break. How can we miss you if you don't go away? Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you feel about us, we are going away for a little bit. Ann and I, at least, will be on Sports on the Hill, as I mentioned. going on the next few weeks. So that's every Monday night. Catch us then on Facebook Live. But other than that, I hope we left you guys with a lot to think about. And I think the Caps they've finally gotten themselves back in a good place with these last 2 weeks worth of play. But it'll be interesting to see how it all comes together.
Mhm.
Based on, the one aspect that we just threw at you. So again, mull it over and think about it, because that's what we try to do here, get you to think more about what happens on the ice. Okay, so as Canada puts another one in on the power play, make it 2-0 in the middle of the third, we're going to wrap it up here. So thank you again, Miss Jin-dependent Jini Clausen, for your hard work and presenting your facts and figures. If and when I have another
Anytime.
homework assignment, I will come up with one, give that to you, to be sure. And of course, thank you, Mermaid, for your making time and bending. I know this is probably the toughest part of the school year. So you're making time and being with us, and well, just being you and showing up and doing what you do is always more than enough. So I want to thank you for that, Anna.
My pleasure.
So we're going away, but we'll all be back again soon. So for Miss Jin-dependent and the Mermaid Anna Knox, this is the Blue Liner on Point signing off and reminding you that, well, there's been a lot of controversy, hullabaloo, hubbub, buzz, whatever you want to say about the entertainment for this year's Super Bowl, which will be tomorrow. And I thought I'd have a little fun with that. No, I'm not going to sing, but no, it's come to my attention that maybe Bad Bunny is not everyone's cup of tea, shall we say? So maybe suggest some stars alongside him to perform, but nobody comes to mind. Not off the top of my head who would be a big draw. So I really don't know who all would be there. Who, maybe a Cardi B or somebody like that, or maybe Jennifer Hudson, maybe somebody like that. I don't know. I don't know about any of those names or who would be there out of all that. But I tell you what, Drake may.
Oh. Oh,
Hallelujah,
job.
and let's go Caps.
Let's go Caps.
This has been another episode of the Power Play Point Podcast. All episodes are available from Apple Podcasts, the Podbean app, blueliner77.podbean.com, and now available from Stitcher. Music by Joe McAllister, voiceover by Jeffrey Conkle.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Power Play Point Podcast. Thanks for listening.
There's lots of name puns today.
There is. You are right. You are right.
It's a very punny, namey day.
Was that worth the wait or what?
So worth the wait.